Hey, what's going on, guys? Seth here with the Christ and Sports podcast, and today we will be going over uh, Proverbs 7. Fun fact, this is the third time I've recorded this video because either my building's fire alarm went off or just my roommate was coming in and we had to go places. So here we go. Third time's a charm, right? And then also, we will have a feature, right? So Proverbs 7 featuring Romans 7 right here. You can foreshadow that. But here we go. Let's go ahead and get started in verse 1 here. My son, obey my words and treasure my commands. Keep my commands and live. Protect my teachings as the pupil of your eye. Tie them to your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your relative. She will keep you from a forbidden woman, a stranger with her flattering talk. All right. So let's go back over this section here. So obey my words has been repeated for the past 7 chapters now, right? Must be pretty important. Furthermore, the analogy of tying the commands to yourself has also been repeated for the past 6 chapters. And then I'm gonna keep giving the same analogy. That necktie that you wear to weddings that seem to get tighter as the night goes on. That's the same way Christ and his commands should be to you. As you tie them tight, and as the night in your life goes on, it gets closer and closer and tighter to you. And then furthermore, I keep saying furthermore. Plus, it says here, write them on the tablet of your heart. And this is to show you that it all comes from your heart. Following Christ's and God's commands and knowing and being like Christ starts in the heart. And then also, something that I kind of thought about was, notice how it says tie. Not place, but tie. So like if I place a canoe on top of my car and I drive off, that thing's gonna slide right off. It's not gonna stay. But if I tie it to my car, tie it down, I'm pretty sure it would stay a lot better than being placed. And so it should be with Christ. You don't want to just place Christ in your heart and your mind. You don't want to just run through the motions at sports. No, you want to work on it. You want to make it your foundation. Tie it to you, right? Let's continue on here. Right here. So this sets up our next section, a story of seduction. Wisdom will keep you from a forbidden woman with her flattering talk. Right. So here you go, the next section. And towards the end of this, or middle, this is where we'll tie it to Romans 7 as well. Verse 6. At the window of my house, I looked through my lattice. I saw among the inexperienced, I noticed among the youths, a young man lacking sense. Crossing the street near her corner, he strolled down the road to her house, at twilight, in the evening, in the dark of the night. Alright, so pause. We're getting painted a picture of a young man lacking sense, an idiot, who is going out at night, right? Twilight evening, in the dark of the night. So first thing I think of is this guy's going out at night. But what is bro doing? Bro's going to a club. What are you doing? But then also, what you can also get from this that I'm highlighting right here is that nothing good happens at night. Why are you going out right now? What are you doing? You're kind of being suspicious, right? Let's continue on. Verse 10. A woman came to meet him dressed like a prostitute, having a hidden agenda. Boom. But what are you doing out at night? There's a prostitute there with a hidden agenda. Verse 11. Let's continue on. She is loud and defiant. Her feet do not stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, she lurks at every corner. She grabs him and kisses him. She brazenly says to him, I've made fellowship offerings. Today I've fulfilled my vows. Alright, pause. We'll do this section right here. Alright, so the woman comes to him like a prostitute with a hidden agenda. There's two ways you can take this. Is the straightforward one where it's lust. Lust promises you a good time, sexual desires, but in reality, it also brings, like if I was to be a porn addict, it promises me good times, pleasure, fulfillment of desires, but what it brings is depression, anxiety, maybe further on down the road, erectile dysfunction. Like, it's got a hidden agenda with it. But then that could be said about all sin as well. I don't know. We'll do premarital sex. Yeah, sounds great, but then what you don't know is that your pair bonding abilities, when you do it once, twice, 6 times, 20 times, right? Some crazy numbers. That's the hidden agenda. Is now you don't have pair bonding, right? So sin offers so much, but it's got a hidden agenda. It's not going to help you in the end. And then verse 11, she is loud and defiant. Sin is very loud and very defiant, very rebellious. What comes to my mind is being loud is homosexuality. With the pride festivals, they're all screaming and they're like, yeah, pride. Oh yeah, we're gay. Yeah, very loud. Or I don't know. There's just sin's very loud. You can probably think of thousands of examples. Let's continue on 12. Now in the street, now in the squares, she lurks at every corner. Sin is everywhere, and it's all around you. I was paying like you can't agree with the statement that our culture nowadays is over sexualized. I mean, there are 10-year-olds watching porn. There's teenagers having kids. Everything, even our music is just so explicitly sexual, and it's everywhere. But then you can also say that again about all kinds of sin. Oh, you want to get a transgender assignment surgery or whatever it is, but you don't want your parents to know about it? Yeah, go ahead and lie to them. We won't tell them. Right? It's everywhere. Another thing with that verse 12 is she looks at every corner. Something that I found interesting was this guy who's on YouTube. I can't remember what his channel name is, so I hope I don't get like copyrighted by just mentioning him. But please don't report me. I'm just trying to spread the word. He brought this idea that in life, in your spiritual journey, there are demons all around you at all times, lurking around you, waiting for the opportunity to come in. As we go on, I'll probably bring this up again in this video. But they're always around you, always trying to tempt you. Let's just go on. I'll bring that back up. But so let's see, verse 13 here. She grabs him and kisses him. She brazenly says to him, I've made fellowship offerings. Today I've fulfilled my vows. So I came out to meet you, to search for you, and I have found you. Alright, so pause. 13 and 14, that would be sin trying to sweeten the deal, right? Um, Temptation will try to creep its way in through trying to sweeten the idea of the sin. And then 15, so I came out to meet you, to search for you, and I have found you. Um, and so I was telling you about those demons. Those demons that are lurking around you, they are there for you. They came and searched for you, and they have found you. Let's continue on. 16. I've spread coverings on my bed, richly colored linen from Egypt. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deeply of lovemaking until morning. Let's feast on each other's love. My husband isn't home. He went on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him and will come home at the time of the full moon. So she seduces him with her persistent pleading. She lures with her flattering talk. All right, so uh, 16 through 20 can all be summed up with verse 21, where she is seducing him with persistent pleading. And then that can be said about the same things. Lust is very persistent. Um, sin is very persistent. There will be some days that I'm, you know, the way my schedule is right now, I have a really short day and a really long day because um, the really long days I don't have to get up early the next day, so it's really long. I try to fit in a lot in. But then the short day is because I'm sleeping in, but also going to bed really early because I got to get up at 6 a.m. for lifts the next day. Um, and I still try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. But those long days, some if I get tempted on a long day, sometimes that temptation is very persistent and pleading all day, very persistent. Um, because what happens is I'll think about that one thing, and then it'll just be a battle in my mind all day. Um, and let's continue on here. He follows her impulsively like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer bounding a trap, until an arrow pierces its liver, like a bird darting into a snare. He doesn't know it'll cost him his life. So yeah, like an ox to the slaughter doesn't know. The ox doesn't know that it's going to cost him its life going to the slaughter. But here's where we mention Romans 7. So Proverbs 22 says, he follows her impulsively. He follows his sin impulsively, as if it's his nature. And so let's go to Romans 7, verse 15 here. For I do not understand what I am doing, because I do not practice what I want to do, but I do what I hate. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. So now I am no longer the one doing it, but it is sin living in me. And so what that is saying is, it's going to be impulsive sometimes for me to sin because I'm still a sinner. I still have sin within me, and sin will sin. So I might know what's right and wrong and still do the wrong thing. I will still be impulsive to do the wrong thing. And that's because, as Paul explains here, it's no longer my mind that is doing the wrong, but the sin in me that is still wanting to continue to be sinful. And so it's like for me, sometimes it's just I'll be chilling, I'll be reading my Bible, and an impulsive thought, dude, will just come out of nowhere, and it'll be an impulse to act on that thought. And I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, dude, I know I should not be doing that, and I'm still doing it. And it's just impulse. It's just like that cartoon where the cartoon character smells the pie and starts floating. That's all it is. Can't stop it. Only way you can stop it is by replacing it with Christ. And that is a fact. That is an absolute fact. Let's continue on. Verse 24. Now, my sons, listen to me, and don't pay attention to the words of my mouth. Don't let your heart turn aside to her ways. Don't stray onto her paths, for she has brought many down to death. Her victims are countless. Her house is the road to Sheol, descending to the chambers of death. So let's wrap it up here very quickly. Verse 25. Don't let your heart turn aside to her ways. Don't stray onto her paths. I believe it was, we were talking Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4 said, don't look left or right, keep your gaze fixed. And I gave the illustration where you and your mom are in the grocery store right after elementary school, and your mom tells you, oh, we're just getting milk, and milk is straight ahead. But then she looks left and sees, oh, hey, t-shirts are on sale, 20% off. And then she looks right and she's like, oh man, deodorant is on sale. But you just want her to keep her gaze fixed on the milk. That's what you came for. Don't get distracted by everything else left and right. No, stay on your path, get the milk. And in a biblical sense, keep your gaze fixed on Jesus. Don't look to the left at the girls and don't look to the right at the money. Keep your gaze fixed on Jesus. Athletically, bro, keep your head down. Keep your head down and keep working. No, don't worry about what people are saying. Who cares what the girls are saying, who the girls are looking at? No, keep your head down. Keep grinding. And then 26. For she, so this could be the lust, straight out of the text, or sin in general has brought many victims, right? Sin has touched countless lives that many of them have died and they're in hell. And that's just a fact. A lot of people did not know Jesus. And so because they did not know Jesus and they had sin and they were victims of sin, they were led to Sheol. And that's a very sad thing to say, but it's true. That's why you need to tie Jesus to your heart. Tie that necktie of Jesus. Bro, that'd be an awesome necktie. A picture of like Jesus or Jesus on a cross. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for today, folks. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or prayer requests, leave them down in the comments below. Really appreciate you guys. Hope I'm opening your eye to some things, and maybe potentially you'll open my eye to another thing. If you don't feel like commenting, but you still want to get in touch with me, oh, look at that. I have an Instagram. That's crazy. Where I just post encouraging Bible verses for the day, some updates, you know how it is. But you can always DM me, follow me. There, it's all right there. But yeah, have a good one. See you.